Now, joining us on News Central to discuss this level of insecurity in Nigeria is a security consultant, Femi Aratokun-Ale, who joins us live from the UK. Thanks for joining us, Mr. Femi.
Thanks for having me. Good afternoon.
All right, the issue of insecurity in Nigeria, everyone has, of course, mentioned it has become something of grave concern to all well-meaning Nigerians. But one wonders how the country arrived at such a dastardly situation where currently it seems no one is safe.
Well, you see, when we talk about the situation in Nigeria today, one thing we need to understand these days, are we being sincere to ourselves and are we honest to ourselves in the way we deliver goods and our services to the government and to private individuals? The answer to that is no. We've not really done anything that has to do with standard level of agreement in terms of public development and its safety. So it has gotten us to a place whereby we need to start asking ourselves the stuff we've been able to do in the past, how come we're no longer doing it? Africa used to be the giant, Nigeria used to be the giant in Africa, but right now we're like a lame dog and we don't know where to stand at the moment. It's a shame, and the government is really not doing anything. Rather, we can only talk and we're not acting.
What would you say in response to people who say the government has done all it possibly can? Do you think that in the last decade, and I want to take us back to 2012, for example, all the way to 2022, with the amount of funding that has gone into security and the likes, and all the departments of security across the country, do you think the government can argue that it has done its very best, but, it's just not getting it right?
You see, thank you for that question you just asked me. If you want to say they've done their very best, I'm not going to agree or I'm not going to argue with that. However, there's one thing I will just point out. The blueprint paper will say it or that, yes, they've done so much. This is the AXYZ budget they've given. But let us ask ourselves a simple question. Can we physically or visibly see things being done in terms of security architecture in Nigeria today, especially within the public sector, within the governmental sector, our security soldiers, military, police officers? They are languishing in a very poor state. Let me give you a very typical example, life on air. We keep talking about Kuje prison, no CCTV, nothing whatsoever. This is 2022. The 1999 president that left Obasanjo was in prison. He saw the state of the prison and he promised he's going to do so much. Apart from doing so much, can you actually tell me that any prison in Nigerian system, any officer will definitely tell you they have this kind of body-worn CCTV with them? None. So how do we profile? How do we give evidence? How do we make sure that we do things the right way when we know we're just deceiving ourselves? What we do is we talk about it, but we're not acting it. What we need in Nigeria is let us act it rather than talking it.
Some state governors, if you've been following the news, have mentioned the need for citizens to arm themselves. It has become a conversation lately. Some of the opinion that the country should legalize the use of guns to combat insecurity. Do you agree with them?
I do not agree with that because it's going to be very chaotic. It's going to be very crazy by the time you ask citizens to start arming themselves. The question is this: do they understand what is even called the weapon safety? Do they understand anything about weapons? What sort of weapons are they going to be using to arm themselves? Rather, let us put some strategic security in place. Let us give some standard people in place that will handle all these weapons, or perhaps that will secure us rather than giving all citizens the right to carry arms. Do not forget, America that is doing it today, they are having their own fair share of the result of having citizens to carry guns. So why do we need to allow Nigerians to carry guns? I do not support the idea. Yes, we are not in a very good situation, but having us to carry guns might be a very bad state or a very bad move. However, let us look at it from this angle again. Our security officers that we have today, what level of training do they understand in terms of the kind of weapons they are actually carrying, of the safety behind the weapons they are carrying? Perhaps maybe we have the budget, but it has not been well spent. That is why the government is coming up with this kind of strategy, which is very poor anyway.
Mr. Femi, apologies because of time. I also want you to quickly speak on this one. It might sound like a conspiracy theory, but the attack at the Igongo in Ibarak, North local government in Oyo State, which killed about 20 people, happened on in June sometime last year. The massacre of, at St. Francis Catholic Church in Owo also occurred in June, on the 5th of June. The Kuje medium security custodial issue happened in July, now on the 5th. So the last one, which happened in Owo, happened on the 5th of June. This Kuje happened on the 5th of July. Is there something maybe going on with the 5th of these months, or could it just be a coincidence?
Well, it's nothing like a coincidence because they have a coordinated pattern of doing their stuff. I mean, I'm talking about these criminal activities. But however, the question is this: how proactive are we? Do we understand every single thing that happens in every single month in Nigeria? Do we have any KPI to keep us in check to know what is going wrong, what is this, what is that? What sort of intelligence do we have? Who do we report intelligence for? But my lasting solution to it is this: until we have a baseline SOP, which is the standard operating procedures for our security officers, we might end up to nowhere. And this is one thing the government, the security agencies must work on from now.
Femi Aratokun-Ale, who of course lives in the UK. Thank you so much for joining us, and I look forward to speaking with you.
Thank you so much for having me.